All right, everybody, welcome back to Samurai Blitz. We have a special guest today. We have a big old white boy here today. Ready, country fed. Look at him.
Country fed.
I just
Mountain boy, man.
mountain boy. Oh, you're mountain boy. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
from
one
the
of those
mountains
city
of.
bean. I'm one of those city beaners, man. So,
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
But this is the Wild Curd. If you haven't seen him, he's all over. What is it? Instagram. And I haven't seen your. You have TikTok as well, right?
I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm biggest on Facebook. That's where my biggest following is.
Facebook. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, he does some funny shit. He's a real creator, and I found him just scrolling through my phone. Made me laugh. I forgot which one exactly it was, but it was. So I know because you do a lot of funny reels out there that I enjoy, and I just thought I'd ask you to come on. You said yes, and thank you for taking the time, brother. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. I enjoy it.
So just real quick, how did you get into this game, man? What happened?
So I avoided TikTok like the plague, like forever, thinking this is the stupidest thing ever. And because it was like a kid's dancing app, but then all these people are on it, and I was on Facebook for a long time, and I was on Twitter, and I actually had quite a big following, like on MySpace and Facebook under a different alias that I was using, Hambone, and I kept getting like I lost so many accounts during the 2016 election. Like that's when they were just going ham, and I lost like 7 Twitter accounts, 2 Facebook accounts. Obviously, MySpace was dead by then, so I gave up on like social media. But then I got back on during COVID, right? Because there was nothing else to do, essentially. And I started doing Christian content, and it was going nowhere because I wasn't quite ready, I guess, to preach the gospel. And also, if you've been on the Christian side of TikTok, if you think the political side is catty and like petty, those creators, they're all sending each other to hell all the time. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't gone down that rabbit hole, man. But
I mean, most of it's good, but I was just really going nowhere with it, and I've always. So, like, since I was 8 years old, I was into politics. I was one of those weird kids. Like, I always paid attention. I was into history. I was into, like, how the government worked. It always fascinated me. And I always link it to my there's some sort of connection there because I was really into professional wrestling, and politics and professional wrestling just made sense to me, like the whole thing. And then when you learn about it, you're like, yeah, they're very similar. So, during the 2024 election, because I was so pissed off about the 2020 election, like I said, we can't let that happen again. So I started making political content. Obviously, mine's on the little more lighthearted side. I don't get as deep into it as some of those guys. But that's all I wanted to do is I told myself, if I can get one person to switch their vote, because I don't have a big following, but if I can get one person to switch their vote, then I did my job. And one person actually reached out to me after the election and said they voted for Trump because of what I did.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Nah, yeah, man, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, you do have a. I mean, it's tough getting the following. People think I'm just gonna make one. It's gonna be funny and everybody's gonna follow me, but unless you have like a pair of ass and tits, it's gonna be a while.
It's a grind, dude. It's a grind. I think it's taken me 2.5 years to get 8,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm shadow banned to crap. Like, I've had so many strikes. I don't think I'll ever go anywhere on TikTok. But during the so I had 200. I gave up on Facebook, right, because they were banning everybody. But so I just had like high school friends. So I had like 250 friends on there, and then I made a video about someone who was in Edmond, Oklahoma, was celebrating old, Charlie Kirk's incident. And I made a video about it, and that shit got 2 million views.
God damn, on Facebook?
Yeah, and I all of a sudden went from like 250 to 5,000, and that was 2 months ago now. What, 2.5 months ago? So I'm up to like 16,000 now. So
nice.
It kind of popped off, and I was like, you know what? I'll I'll keep doing this.
Let's
So I
keep
make
posting.
them on. I hate TikTok, but they have the best creation studio. So I make the video on TikTok and then I post it elsewhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm already we've been doing this for about a year. And I was the one that was reluctant to do it. I was like, I don't want to do it. You know, my two friends were like, "Hey, we should make a podcast." We do more long form, but we just I cut them up and I kind of do a lot of the stuff.
Yeah,
And we do a lot of political, but we do like we just talk shit, you know. It's
that's
just
good.
yeah, we don't get all.
You
I'm not trying to be Ben Shapiro or anything. I mean,
well it. And if you follow my content, I mean, I'm known as a political creator, but if you've seen I do other videos like reaction to stupid shit and like occasionally I talk about sports, but those videos go absolutely nowhere because these algorithms like put you in a niche, and if you try to like crawl out of that niche, it's like it doesn't know what to do with you. So,
mm.
um, but dude, you doing long form YouTube's where it's at, but man, it's such a hard nut to crack. Like all the money's in YouTube, but
Yeah, that's where a lot of the money is. We climb very slowly, but we've been climbing here and there, a little here and there. But
yeah,
yeah, it's the same with us because we're like talking about conspiracy, then we're talking about politics, then we're just talking shit, like making fun of things. Uh,
have you guys
talking
gone to Rumble?
Yeah, but Rumble is also very hard to get
It
into.
is.
From
It
my
is.
experience, I went up to like a certain number and it just stopped completely.
Yeah.
And I was like, but Rumble is pretty cool. I don't know, man. It's you have already the people there that are kind of
Well, and you gotta overcome the groypers and because they're kind of dominating over there and like
yeah. I was gonna ask you about that because I'm one of those people, right? I know I'm 42, so I know a dipshit when I see one, and
yeah
like he is funny. Like he does some stuff that's funny, especially to be honest, he's more funny the way people like when they make content out of his stuff because they'll
yeah
put like a song behind them or they'll put like a green screen where it's like a restaurant. It's like don't act crazy in front of my parents, and he'll be like, "It's the fucking Jews."
yeah
It's
like
hilarious, and it's like, ah, dude, that's funny.
what's
But
crazy he has this formula and Alex Jones had the same formula. So
the
it's
turning
like
the frogs gay.
yeah,
That one.
you say something that's true. So Fuentes, I'm not a fan of his. Don't I don't want anyone to think I'm a fan of his. I don't stand with those people whatsoever. But he will say something that's true.
Mm,
But then, like Alex Jones, right? He talked about he was talking about the island in like 2014, 2013. Right? He's talking about the island, and all these elites go to an island, and they're trafficking these kids, and then,
yeah,
but then he jumps the shark, right? You know what that term means, and then
yeah.
it's like, and they're interdimensional aliens, and it's
Yeah,
like,
over
yeah,
the thing about Alex Jones, right? Because he is very informative, and that dude
yeah,
has a wealth of knowledge. I mean, just constant. I mean, the stuff he's been covering since 2000, maybe, right when he first started
yeah.
with the
Oh,
Bush stuff.
Infowars was it's
Yeah,
entertaining.
it's the OG. But the only
Yeah,
thing about it, if you watch it, have you ever like watch an actual live? It's worse than watching Fox News. Every 5 minutes, dude, there's like a 10-minute commercial break,
yeah,
and it's like, go ahead and buy my new supplement. It's fucking fantastic, and it's gonna
yeah,
really put your cock in an 8-inch fucking whatever the fuck he's
yeah,
selling, you know, cock pills and something methane blue he's selling. But it's just like constant commercial after commercial after commercial. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? I'd rather watch Fox if I'm gonna do this. And I just
yeah,
get bored of it. I'm like, that's one thing I didn't like about Daily Wire was like I remember I used to watch it a while back. I mean, this is a long time ago. And now like every 5-10 minutes, it's like a 5 minute, oh, and our sponsor, it's like a sponsor. Like, man, I
yeah.
don't want to hear this, dude. Like, I'm tired.
Well, it's like Candace Owens, right? She's like, I got information. We're gonna drop some names, but first, here's a word from, and it's like, and then you
Yeah.
come back and it's like, well, next episode. It's like they know what they're doing. They're grifters, man. They're
And that's the way I feel about Nick Fuentes is like
yeah,
he's an advocate for hating mixed relations, but he's mixed race, and it's like what?
yeah.
Like
He's a troll.
yes,
He's a
and the thing is,
professional
like,
troll.
yeah, I agree. I think he has like his funny shit once in a while, and then most
Yeah,
of it, I'm like, oh, what? And then a lot of his history is very wrong. Like I'm listening to him, I'm like, what? Like he goes, oh, we never had a problem with the Middle East until Israel was developed. Like what? Like no,
No,
did you skip over the
no.
whole barbary pirates and and
Yeah.
then also we didn't have an interest in the Middle East for the longest time, and we kind of like their whole shtick is to convert people at the tip of a sword. Like what are you talking about? Of course they're gonna eventually we're gonna clash, and
Right.
it's just really really silly. A lot of stuff he says, and people take it to heart, man. That's what's kind of crazy.
Well, he does that Alex Jones thing. He makes a good point. Like I just heard an interview he was doing with Tucker Carlson, and he makes a good point. Like, I've never heard the Daily Wire criticize Israel, right? So, yeah, of course, Ben Shapiro's not going to criticize Israel. He's a Jew, so and he's like very pro-Israel.
He's
That's
like
kind of his thing.
extreme. He's Israel first, I would say
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah, he is. That's why I stopped listening to him. And I'm not like one of those anti-Israel people. Like you should be able to criticize Israel. The problem with Fuentes is it's not a critic when you really get down to why he's criticizing Israel, it always becomes about the Jews. And it's like, okay, now you're denying the Holocaust and like, no, I'm
Hitler's
out. I'm
cool.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, Hitler's cool, and
yeah,
that's the one thing he gets like you get these Hispanic dudes and black dudes, and they're like, oh yeah, he's just saying the truth, and it's like, bro, if he were to get his way, you would not be in this country, like even though you're
no,
American, because I'm Latino, but I'm like, yeah, deport every illegal. I don't give a shit. Like I don't
yeah,
care about that. But I believe in like I don't believe in the whole hey we need a white America, we need this America, we need an America that believes in American core values and our goals, freedom of speech, right? Freedom of religion,
yeah,
freedom to bear arms. All this, if you have like that upbringing of, you know, peanuts and cracker jacks at a baseball game, going to the movies, having like just Americana, right?
yeah,
Watching these movies, then you are part of my group. I don't give a
yeah.
shit what color you are. And,
Well,
and it's like, yeah, I understand. Like you said, he'll say something about all these people coming in, they don't have our values and they're deteriorating this country. And I get that. But then he goes on and like, we need to be white America. It's like, oh, come on.
yeah,
I don't know about all that. But I also don't believe in importing the third world
no.
to solve our problems. Like I'm like, no, that's not the way to go. And yeah, what were we gonna say? Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I was going to say, I mean, nationalism is a good thing. I know the left like to say that, but nationalism, just regular nationalism, I'm not talking about like what Mussolini was doing, but just nationalism is a good thing. And I come at that from like my faith, right? There's orders of faith in Christianity, and it's more of a Catholic idea, but it is biblical. Like you have God first, then your family is second, and then your community is third. And your community, part of your community is your country. So you should take pride in your country. And yeah, Nick Fuentes takes it to white nationalism, right? And I
Mhm.
don't go that far. I want people who are American, believe in the Constitution,
Yes, exactly.
believe in what our founding fathers wanted this country to be. So I don't care who you are if you believe in those things. And the problem is so many people don't believe in those things. Those are the people I'm against. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're gay, straight, what the fuck ever.
Dude, I'm
You
I'm
know?
actually like white liberals. We need to deport white liberal
Yeah.
women. To be honest, those are the worst. Those bitches need to go. If
Yeah.
you're white and you're liberal and you're a woman, you are the problem at this point in this country because you're the one that advocates for all this bullshit that we're going through and all this
Yeah.
nonsense that you're like consistent with it, man. Like it's terrible.
I would
I
trade most illegals for white liberal women.
Well, I would, but if they're coming from like Cuba or somewhere where they dealt with communism and socialism, and they want to come in and like really partake in the American dream and Americana and everything, I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. But the ones that are coming in that are trying to basically, it's like we're both in Texas, right? You get all these
Yeah.
Californians coming in, and they're all and I, dude, I used to be a history teacher, and I would see it all the time, bro. Like, where in California we do it like this. In California, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. We're not in California. This is Texas, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
like you left California for a reason. You didn't leave California because it was great. Like, let's
Yeah.
be honest. Nobody leaves like, man, it's too good here. I'm gonna leave and go somewhere else that's a little less than. I never heard that happen. But yeah, and that's the thing. You get these people coming from these third world countries, coming with those ideas and bringing them into the school systems and bringing them into society, and then they're like I've heard that term, "Make America Mexico again," and I'm like, no, no, how
No.
about no, no, take your
Have you been to
peanuts.
Mexico?
Yes, I have. I know. That's why. No,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. It's like I've always said, like, these people that talk about it's the Mexicans that make it America great, and it's like, well, why can't they make their own country great then? If they're
Yeah.
so great, then they could do it to themselves. And Mexico's going all kind of crazy right now. I think was it you that did one about today with Mexico?
I haven't done one about Mexico today.
Oh, okay. I forgot who it was, and I thought it was you. But yeah, dude, they're wilding out, man, with that new president and everything, and it's a shit fest over there. So yeah, I don't
What
think
I what I found most interesting is there was an article that came out, and basically what happened is most people in Mexico don't have access to social media, right? They're not on the internet like Americans are, and basically what happened is they found out their country was being run by the cartels. They didn't know it.
they have to know that. I call BS on that article, man.
Yeah.
They know. Everybody knows, bro. Everybody knows the cartels are running shit. And the president right now, they call her the cartel president for a reason. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that FIFA stadium that they did, and there was like 465 body parts and all. Like
Oh, jeez.
it's wild, man. They're and she
Maybe
is.
that's where Jimmy Hoffa is.
And there is a what is it? Oh, she does have ties, like her dad, and she's a Jew, by the way, too, which is also kind of funny. But
Yeah.
her dad is a communist, and that's why she's implementing a lot of communist kind of things in there, and it's pretty crazy. But one of the things I did want to talk to you about was because I just did a video, I haven't posted it yet, but I just did a video on how stupid and idiotic Trump looked on this Rob Reiner shit. Now, me personally, I feel like it was very just trashy and classless.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, and one of the things I'm seeing now, and I don't know if you agree or not, and if you disagree, of course, respectfully, you could disagree. Um, I see like people on the right, on the MAGA side, they are. It's getting to the point where they're just as bad as the left. The people they mock and make fun of, you'll believe anything your leader says, and you march in lockstep. I feel like, dude, do y'all not see yourselves? Like, we need a mirror to the MAGA side and show them, like, bro, you are doing the same things. You're running the same playbook in my eyes, because
Yeah.
they're at the point where they can't even call him out. And like I said, I would still vote for Trump if the election was today, if it
Yeah.
was between the Kamala and Trump. And I do support him, but I also will not undermine. I mean, I will not bypass when he does something stupid. I'm gonna call him out on it. And when you can't call out your leaders, then you're in a cult. That's the way I see
Yeah.
it. And what do you think about all the stuff going on with that?
So that whole situation, so you touch on something there that I believe is the heart of conservatism. We aren't a hive mind. We are very staunch individualists.
Which is
And
great.
yeah, and we have conversations and you can disagree, and like that's why I do conservative lives on TikTok. There's way more conversation to have there. And people who disagree, like I tend to be on the more like libertarian side of things. Not everyone in MAGA, people are way more hardcore conservative. So with the whole Rob Reiner thing, I will not celebrate that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Christian. I thought it was wrong when they did it to Charlie Kirk. I think it's wrong if they do it to Rob Reiner. My belief is God takes no pleasure in death, so I'm not going to. So, but Trump, so I'm an individualist. He's his own person. The things Rob Reiner said about Donald Trump, I don't blame Donald Trump for being that way. Like, the dude said awful things about Trump. And he's a public figure, so a lot of people saw it. And Trump he has an ego. You know, I think anyone who denies that Trump has an ego is living in la la land. He has a very large ego. And
I'm sure you could find some people that'll be like, no,
no, they will. They'll say, no, he's a very humble.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he may be like in his living room, but he has this public persona. And it's almost the reason why I didn't vote for him in 2016. I've never liked his public persona. We all grew up with Trump in our face constantly, right?
Yeah.
Like before he even ran for president. He's just always been a part of American culture. For our people, our age group. He's always been there. And I never really liked him all that much because of like his public persona. The tweet itself, yeah, it was not good. I cannot put my support behind that, but I do understand why he does that. But I think Trump forgets that he's president sometimes, and he's just going to be Donald Trump. and he's not going to, he's not going to sugarcoat things. And if that's the way he feels, man, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with doing that and tearing someone down publicly like that, especially when they're murdered in cold blood by their own child, which is just wild. Like that's something that that whole family has to deal with that.
Mm.
Rob Reiner had siblings, so aunts and uncles have to realize that their nephew killed their brother or sister. You know what I mean? Like, so for Trump to do that, being as big as he is, not a good thing. But I can say that I don't think he should have to care, because the things that Reiner said about him, like Reiner basically alluded to the fact that he was sad that the shooter missed in Butler, and like just things like that. And Reiner himself even like mocked Rush Limbaugh when he died.
Yeah, he did.
So
I want to say I totally agree. Like in that video I'm talking about, I said I know Trump has his grievances are justified for him to be not to like that man, but when you're the president as well, and just to take a cheap shot at somebody that got murdered, like you said, in cold blood, it wasn't like he died of natural causes and like, well, he was a terrible person. I didn't like him. He tried to get he was like cheering on my death. There's sometimes like it's just better. I think Senator Kennedy said it when they asked him about the situation. I love that guy. I think he's funny. The way he talks, he just talks so country. But he had said, what do you say? Oh, he goes, there was once a wise man that didn't say nothing. You know why? Because he's a wise man. And it was like, yes, then, and that's the one thing I was like, and again, I know Trump has grievances against that person, and they're justified for sure. But I just thought like it was just tasteless, and it was like, bro, what are you doing? This guy just got killed by his and it's like I said the same thing. I'm not a fan of him. I mean, actually, like in Hollywood fan, yeah, I think he did some good movies.
Yeah, it's good movies.
Yeah, and personally, I'm like no, but I mean, I'm not a fan of a lot of people like that. Like we talk about Alec Baldwin, I'm not a fan. I think he's great in movies, but I'm not a fan of him personally. But if he got killed by his daughter, I wouldn't be like mocking it. It's like, yeah, it's a terrible tragedy. Leave it. Like my whole thing was just like, leave it alone. And it's still not like I lost support for the man. It's more just you still got to call out wrongdoing when you see it. That's
and I think most people on our side are. It's a small, loud group of loyalists that are just unwilling to criticize him on anything. And I haven't said any, I made one post. I said, look, it's wrong that they celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. It's wrong if you're celebrating Rob Reiner's death. Pray for his family. That's the only thing I've said about it. I refuse to get involved in it. All these influencers and content creators are chiming in on it, and I don't know why. I didn't know Rob Reiner. I don't know Donald Trump. So
yeah, exactly.
Like I don't get personal with these. I didn't elect Donald Trump because he's my friend. I don't think I know the guy. I don't think I'm ever going to meet the guy. I don't have delusions that the guy's ever going to know who the hell I am. So my whole thing is I just like he was the right person to be president.
Yeah.
Because of what he stands for politically. That doesn't mean I think he's necessarily right all the time or even a good person all the time. I think most people aren't good people most of the time. But yeah, it was like I don't think that's going to end up being a good mark on his second term. I think that'll be another black mark. And he does it. He does those late night tweet fests where he just stream of consciousness, and it's like you got to have a filter. You got to have a little bit of self-control. Even if you agree with what he said, you have to expect a grown man to have a little more self-control than that.
Yeah, and we should be talking about like we should be talking about the 2.5 million people that got deported, which is a good amount for in a year. I mean, of course, those some rookie numbers. You need to pump those numbers up. I mean, I'm joking, but those they could do a lot more. But the thing is, you also see the resistance that they are facing constantly in every major liberal city. So I get that, but it's also like we should be talking about this, but instead we're talking about something totally different because you just can't shut your mouth sometimes. You just got to say something, and it's like you're your own worst enemy. And especially, I don't know if you saw the Chuck Schumer little speech he gave. Did you watch that one?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm
Oh,
sure it
dude,
was fantastic though.
it is legendary.
Yeah.
So this dude, he's talking about the whole situation at in what is it in Sydney, Australia?
Okay. Yeah, the shooting.
Yeah, the shooting that happened. Oh, why did my computer lock up? All right, I'm gonna show you in a second. But he's talking about it, and he's like, I'm gonna talk about this situation, and he just goes into like the Buffalo Bills, like he just starts talking about the Buffalo Bills. Like what?
What?
Uh, yeah, like it's so crazy. I did a little video about it. Uh, and he just it's so weird. Like the what he says, it's what like how does that even make any sense? What are you talking about? So it is right here. We're gonna let me go ahead and put it on for you. It is it's incredibly how stupid and tone deaf this is, but it's Chuck Schumer. What do you expect?
Yeah.
And of course, I'm going to say a few words about the terrible shooting in Sydney, Australia. Okay? So, and first, of course, as I always say, no matter what, go Bills. They beat the Patriots today. It's a big deal. And of course,
What?
Yeah.
Like I know dude. When I first saw it, I thought it was AI, which is a bad thing in this. I don't know about
Yeah,
you.
you just never know, right?
Yeah, you just never
Never
know.
know.
And I do want to talk to you about that, but it was real. It was real. He's just go Bills. Like
Yeah.
and that,
Imagine like I'm wearing this hat and I'm like, all right, I want to talk about the genocide in Nigeria. But first, go Cardinals. Like this is that's odd, man. That's odd.
Cardinals.
That's that like trying to connect. I'm an everyman type moment for a politician, and that's the kind of what we're touching on. But I don't. So Trump created this environment for better or worse, and it removed all decorum and all tact from politics because he doesn't have tact. He doesn't talk like a politician. He just says what's on his mind. So other politicians from both sides, they saw how successful he was because everything is copycat in society, right? You find what's successful and you copycat it. We see that in the content creation world. It's everything. Businesses see what other businesses do. So they saw Trump and they make their own brand of Trumpism, whether it's Gavin Newsom doing his weird thing that he's been doing on Twitter, right? And AOC being bold and Chuck Schumer doing whatever the hell that was. Like there's this, and they're so disconnected. Even Trump, he's so disconnected from like the average American,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And of course, we all talk like that to each other. So it's shocking to hear a politician because we grew up with your Al Gores and George Bushes, and these are lifetime politicians. They knew how to speak political speak, and they spoke a certain way. And Obama spoke a certain way, and they orate a certain way, and they use certain terminology. Trump just fucking took a missile to all that, right? And now that shit is now those people seem weird. The people that like speak like a normal politician, right? Like like DeSantis does that, but you put DeSantis on the stage with Trump, and he just comes across as like awkward and kind of phony, right?
I'm Ron DeSantis.
Yeah,
That was terrible. I was like, who
yeah,
advised you to do that? Come on, bro.
yeah,
But no, I hear you. But I also think that was the beginning because when Trump first came out, he was bombastic because he's a New Yorker, also old New Yorker, right? The way they talk.
yeah.
And then, but you had the other side. I mean,
Oh shoot, he gone. He disappeared. Oh, there he is.
oh, sorry. Oh, like they called what was that Mormon guy's name? Jesus,
Romney.
Romney. They called Romney like a Nazi, So
Yeah.
they've always been kind of crazy in that.
Oh
But
yeah.
with Trump, they did amp it up tenfold. Like they amped it up. I mean, it was like the next Hitler. So I understood why he was. I mean, in my mind, that's the way I saw it. I do agree with you, but I saw it as also he was getting arrows from all over the
Oh
place,
yeah.
and he had to say, you know what? fuck that. I'm gonna start telling you how it is because
Yeah.
it was brutal, man. It was brutal,
Was.
and
Well,
it was brutal for even us to even support him.
yeah, it's hard to support. It's not an easy path to support Donald Trump because he does say some wild shit, and um, the average person is like, "What?" Like so. But he wasn't just getting arrows from the left. People have to remember that too. There's
Yeah,
people within the Republican Party that fight him constantly and are stabbing him in the back. And he was naive his first term, and he even talked about that during the latest election cycle on a couple of the podcasts he went on. Like
yeah,
he
he
didn't
did
really,
Joe
he
Rogan.
didn't know about this world. He was always kind of around the outside circle of it, but he was never in it. And he was naive the first time. He trusted people and Mike Pence. And this time around, I think we're seeing he doesn't have to worry about reelection. He knows these people aren't on his side. He knows they're not on our side. They're on their own side. And I just think that he also sits isolated, right? He's not, and I know this from people who know him and they've been on lives with us on TikTok. He does. He's isolated and he has people telling him certain things, but it's not really the reality, which is why he's going after guys like Thomas Massey and Rand
Oh, dude,
Paul.
I know.
And,
I can't stand that.
yeah.
I don't like that at all. Especially
No,
Thomas
well,
Mass.
I don't because I'm on that. I was part of that. I was in that libertarian kind of like movement with Rand Paul, Ron Paul, and but what really made me mad is like he's talking about these guys voting, but that's how they've always voted. Like they have voted consistently. Now Thomas Massey, I'm not as he seems a little more egotistical than Rand Paul. But Rand Paul has voted exactly the way Rand Paul votes since 2011. He is who he is. He doesn't vote to expand the government ever. He doesn't vote for war ever. He doesn't vote for continuing resolutions ever. And he was elected before Trump. And then Trump came out and said, well, he was only elected
Yeah, that was
because
really
of me.
stupid.
And I was like, no, man, he was elected in 2011.
Yeah, that was
Like
really
before you
dumb
ever
when I heard that.
ran. So that whole thing, I think Trump's lost the libertarian base of the conservative movement, the Republican Party, at least for now. J.D. Vance is going to have to probably work to get that back. Or
But I
whoever
feel the
runs.
Libertarian Party is so hard to please because you just got to say no to everything.
Yeah,
Like,
well, the Libertarian Party, the capital L's, they're a whole different beast, and I don't have
yes,
they're weird. They did too much acid or something. I don't know. Like they're out there.
yeah,
But
they're like let kids work at 5 and let everything free, and then like it's like
you got to have some rules, right? And that's
yes,
what when I say libertarian, I mean like the lowercase L's, the ones that are like
a soft L.
the Ron Paul types. They're really Republicans, but they're on the more constitutional and liberty side of things. So they're not as extreme, and they're hard to please. Like he had to part of his deal with them and getting elected was pardoning that the guy that did the Silk Road on
Yeah,
dark web and
yeah.
Ross Ulbricht.
Yeah, I
That
remember
guy
that.
was like hiring people to contract to kill. Like, and libertarians are like, no, he just, he was framed. And no, there was like plenty of evidence against that guy. And Trump pardoning him, I disagreed with it, but that was part of his deal with the libertarians is, okay, you guys help me get elected. I'm going to pardon this guy. And ever since then, he's only pissed them off because he's not doing what he's not a libertarian. So I don't know why they would expect that's not what he is.
Yeah,
So,
I know Dave Smith has like made some wild claims, like crazy, like damn.
mm-hmm.
But I like libertarians, but when you get the ones that are overly libertarian, it's just too much, like you said, and too much freedom just leads to tyranny, man. Like because it's just too much, and you can't have that. It's just
you got to be able to stop monopolies. You got to be able to build roads. I know that's their joke, like, oh, who's going to build the roads? Literally, though, who's going to build the if you don't have public services and you don't have taxes? Is everyone in your neighborhood just going to throw money in to freaking repave a road? No, they're not going to do that. We know human beings they're lazy, and they want to keep their money, and someone's going to end up paying more than the other person. Then there's going to be resentment. If you don't have, I'm Second Amendment all the way, but you can't just some of these jamokes, like you'll see them in the grocery store, just like with their big old freaking revolvers sticking out, and it's like, look, I don't care that you're carrying, but that's just kind of ridiculous. Like, at least conceal it. You know?
Yeah. There's some. I mean, I remember when I moved to Arizona, I was living in Phoenix for a while, and it's open carry there, and I was just surprised, like, holy shit, they're just walking around with like their AKs, like their ARs, and I'm like, okay, like what is this about? Like, damn, it's crazy. And I was from Texas, so in San Antonio, we didn't have it like that. It wasn't like that open, but you could carry a gun. And I'm a big Second Amendment guy too. But I know Tim Pool's talked on this, and he goes, "Yeah, I think individuals could have weapons of mass destruction. I think they could have whatever. It didn't say that in the Constitution." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a little going too far, though. I don't think anybody needs a weapon of mass destruction as a civilian. You know, like I don't think even the government should be having these kind of weapons. To be completely honest, that's one thing like a lot of conservatives jumped on Tucker Carlson over when he was saying, yeah, maybe the atomic bomb wasn't the greatest idea. It was pretty bad, especially on a civilian populace. And I was like, yeah, that was pretty terrible.
I mean, I get it. So that
I understand both sides too. I get both sides. Don't get me wrong.
But the fact that it had to come to that is kind of that's the bad part. You know what I mean? And
it is true that they did not want to surrender, and they did have that bold spirit of go till you dead.
If we did not do that, the Japanese people would be speaking Russian right now, because Russia was like, yep, we're going to Japan next.
Well, they were ready in some islands,
yeah, and America was like, we don't want to do that, so the only way to end this is to get them to surrender. Did it?
I think it would have been like the way North Korea and South Korea are. I think it would have probably been like that. You would have had North Japan, South Japan, and we would have took the South, of course, and they would have took the North. But also, we were just gonna keep firebombing them to destruction. So I mean, if we didn't do that, I understand both sides, but to like be gleeful on like, we wiped out 230 civilians, in the blink of an eye. It's kind of like, all right, that's a little demented, man. Like to think that way. You should be thinking of, damn, it was a lost life, but it saved more lives. Or all right, I could see that. It is interesting.
Well, and for the weapons thing, like, okay, that sounds like a good idea, right? I know people that believe you should be able to have what the military has, but who ends up with that in that case? Like, I can't afford a tank, but you know who can is Elon Musk. So all these rich people are going to end up with these fighter jets and tanks. The average person is still going to have their Remington double barrel and their handgun and their maybe an AR-15, which, if you know anything about ARs, for everyday use, it's a powerful weapon, but for the most part, it's just a mid-range hunting rifle. You know what I mean? Like,
it just looks scary.
Against actual military weapons, it's nothing. So
that's what I'm saying. But when you're talking about individual shit, weapons of mass destruction, like, what if they fucking go crazy? That's just insane to think. Like, but like I think a lot of the whole, like, if you're gonna fight, you should just fight, not like, oh, I'm gonna just nuke somebody and completely decimate that whole city. I don't think that's a fair fight. That's just kind of fucking lame to me. Like, okay, if you're, and there should be like more diplomatic tie. I mean, more diplomacy, right? Like, that's what one thing I did like about Trump was he was very like, I'm gonna stop these wars and I'm gonna do this, and he was like, I'm gonna bring him to the table, talk to him. I remember when he was talking to Kim Jong Un. I was like, yeah, this is good. Like, let's see what can happen. I still, I mean, he's a terrible person. That dude done so many crimes against humanity. But still, I mean, if we could kind of soften that up a little bit in any way, that'd be good for the world, Like, it's there has to be.
You got to have conversations. Like, you can't just. And I get it. Like, some of these people are just awful. But
Yeah.
how did we win World War II? It wasn't, I mean, we aligned with Joseph Stalin, one of the worst humans to ever live. It's the only way things get done globally. So people think very microscopically, like, yeah, in my personal life, I wouldn't associate with that kind of person. But when you're doing geopolitics and you're on a macro level, you have to deal with these people. And we can't do anything about North Korea short of starting war, which, what is that going to do? Like, they're already impoverished. They don't have food. It wouldn't be a fair fight. And it would probably radicalize them even more. So we can't just like go in and bomb North Korea, assassinate their leader. We've seen America's tried that, and it doesn't really work out very well.
And
Like,
we're
it just
trying it again.
yeah,
in
it
Venezuela.
destabilizes. So the diplomacy thing, and he got a lot of crap for that, but it's like, why wouldn't you try to open up trade or open up peace talks or open up truces with these countries? Because maybe that's the start of them pulling out of communism or pulling out of their authoritarianism. They start trading with the rest of the world. We saw that happen with South Korea. We saw that happen with Vietnam. Vietnam started to open up to the world, and it's getting better.
Yeah, it's not as full on communist
No,
as when we left
China,
the 70s.
as bad as China is, it's better than it was under Mao, right? Like, so yeah, you gotta open up those lines of communication.
Yeah. So while you've been making content, I don't want to waste too much time, but let me know when you have to go. But while you've been making content, have you gotten any like really crazy messages or anything threatening or in any way? I got
Yeah,
one. I got one so far of I need to be chopped up in Mexico. I was like, God
yeah.
damn. But how about yourself?
I have gotten a few death calls during the Charlie stuff mostly. Most of it is typical hateful liberal stuff, and from angry conservatives that don't think I'm the right kind of conservative. Most of the hate comes from like, so I post on Instagram, which automatically posts to Threads, right?
Mm. Oh
So
yeah. I know.
yeah,
I know. It'll be like, hey, you got 3 likes on Threads, and I don't even fucking have Threads.
yeah,
I think I downloaded it one time, and it just leaves you on there, and it just like it's weird. So I'm like, all right, I guess. Hey, well, can't go wrong with being on another platform, I guess.
no, but I definitely got the "you're next" type messages.
Oh
Um,
wow, so you got a lot of those during that time period.
yeah,
Yeah, because I came home that day and I did like an angry podcast with me and my homeboy, and I was like, man, fuck y'all, like this both sides shit, calm it down. Like I was mad because it was dude, you killed this man in broad daylight, and he was the
yeah,
most like calm, tame of the Republicans. Because I honestly, I'm not gonna say I'm like always a Republican. I'm just conservative. I believe in like right wing values, but a lot of the Republicans, they're just all war hawks, or they don't believe in these values themselves. So that's why it's hard. Like it's hard for me to align myself with Mitch McConnell's and Lindsey Graham's and Ted Cruz's. And like I like Ted Cruz. Don't get me wrong, I do like Ted Cruz. But once he starts like the way he was talking on the Tucker Carlson, it just came off terrible. And I'm like, God, dude, we don't need to be Israel's bitch. The way he was
oh,
coming off. And I'm the same as you. I'm not like an anti-Israel. I think there's a lot of problems. We have Israel, you have Qatar, you have Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of places that are just as bad that are influencing a lot of things that happen here. So
yeah,
it's not just one country, it's many countries, and it's the corporations that are pushing that DEI and Marxist shit that's been going on. It's
yep.
it's a lot of things going on. And
But with Israel, like, look, I get it. They do some things I don't agree with, and they're not always the best ally to have.
no,
But they make us a lot of money. Like, they make us a lot of money. Like, we send them $3 billion a year on average in aid. They make us like 60 billion in terms of trades and goods and services a year. So people who think they're just free riding and we're just sending them money, That's not the case. Same with Argentina. We sent Argentina the 28 million.
Mhm.
We make way more off that, or way more off Argentina than 28 million. So the ones I have a problem with are like Ukraine, who give us jack shit and nothing. We keep sending them money, and we forget that Ukraine instigated that whole thing. They were instigating this thing in like 2014. People keep blaming Russia, and I'm not saying Russia's innocent. I don't really support either country. I think the whole thing's bullshit. But we also can't sit here and pretend like Ukraine is innocent in the matter, because they're not.
Yeah, and then also the Biden administration really amped it up by saying we're going to get them in NATO. That was a red line that Putin put out there for everybody to know. I agree with you. I don't like Putin. I don't like Zelensky, but
No.
I also see why Putin would do that. It'd be like China going to Mexico and setting up shop and saying they're going to be in alliance with Mexico. We'd be like, fuck the fuck you are. No, this ain't going to happen, you know? Not in our Western hemisphere. And now China's doing that already, you know, in Brazil. They've been doing that in other places. But it is true. Like, yeah, I could understand why Putin said, okay, my back's against the wall. I got to do something.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they were trying to talk it out in the very beginning, and the Biden admin kept trying to like prolong it more and more and more. Now they have a whole generation of men just completely gone.
Yeah.
And it's a sad situation. And Zelensky's just like, I'm gonna go till the fucking wheels fall off. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ride it all the way home. Kind of like Hitler during World War II, you know, ride it to the end.
As long as that war's going, he doesn't have to be reelected. So
yeah, it is interesting that whole thing. But I agree, Ukraine's also, that's a problem.
Yeah,
I know the minerals deal was supposed to get some of that money back, but I don't know, man. That whole situation's kind of wild right now. It's kind of interesting to see what direction it's going to take after, you know, in a few months, because every time they have a meeting, it seems like there's progress and then it's just regression. It's just like no. But
the whole thing goes down to this like one piece of land, right? Crimea, and neither side wants to give up. Russia feels like it's part of Russia, like it's part of their heritage. It was part of Russia. It was part of the USSR. Ukraine says it's naturally ours, even though Ukraine's only been a country for how long? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And it's that one piece of land. It's very valuable. And that's what, until one side gives up on having that piece of land, it's going to be
just
you
war.
Know, yeah.
But yeah, and we've also used Ukraine as just money laundering country.
Oh, yeah.
You know? It's one of the most corrupt countries in Europe. Or the most corrupt. I do want to ask one more before I let you go. What do you think of the whole war? What is it, civil war? Do you think we're ever going to unite again, or do you think it's just completely like we need to get divorced? Or what's your take on that whole situation?
So we are in a cultural civil war. We have been for a while now.
100%, I agree.
Whether it actually comes to actual physical violent action is yet to be seen. I don't think we're there yet, although we're close. And one event could tip the whole thing. I don't think there can be reconciliation. I don't think so once you get to the polar extremes, there can be reconciliation in the middle, but you're never going to get these people out here. And they're getting louder and louder. And this is what's happened throughout history. You look at what was going on in Germany, Italy. It was an extreme left and an extreme right. And they were fighting in the streets. And I think that eventually happens here. And as the extremes grow and get louder, unfortunately, I don't think there can ever be a reconciliation with those sides. It's just, I've never seen a point in human history where it just went away.
Yeah, and but I try to tell people, right? I cannot find common ground with people that want to chop children's body parts off. I cannot see a middle ground with people that want to have abortions at 9 months. I can't see a middle ground where people want to have communism, because you're making my life hell and my kids' life hell. Like you have kids, I could hear them in the background. We want to leave this country better off than what we got, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen when you're bringing in these stupid ideals that we've known. It's proven that they don't work. Like
Yeah.
you can just look at recent history. It's not like you need to look far. It's not like, oh man, there were some ancient scrolls that said this thing will go well. No, they're like you could see it. You could see it in countries
Yeah.
right now. And they want to implement all these things or having these drag shows with these little kids. I'm sorry,
Uh,
you're a child abuser. You're a piece of shit.
yep.
I interviewed one of the guys that talks about the CPS stuff, how they're kidnapping kids that don't want to get like a hepatitis B shot. They're doing all these kind of things, giving once CPS is on you, and then they're giving them to gay couples, and then we all know what happens, especially a majority of the time when these kids are getting sent off to gay couples. You can see it in the news, and I just can't find middle ground with people like that. Like I just
No.
don't, and I don't. I'm not gonna like lower my morals to be like, well, we need
No.
to be united. No, I'm not gonna be united with people that celebrate the death of a man that just espoused Christian values and stuff like that. And I'm just not gonna be a part of that. But yeah, I,
No, and I don't, I'm the same way there. And it goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning, the whole American thing and our values as a country. These things do not align with our values. They don't align with Western values, and they don't align with American values. And it goes to the trans stuff. Like, leave the kids alone. Stay the fuck away from kids. I don't care what you do as an adult, what you do in your own bedroom. I don't give a shit. You want to cut your dick off? Doesn't matter to me. But keep it away from kids. And I will not ever coalesce with those people. I'm the same way with Islam. I can't coexist with Islam. I
yeah,
don't think Christians should coexist. I don't think Jews should because they want to kill us. And they want to marry children. And they deny it and deny it and deny it. But no, then you see my videos are always, well, there's different stages of maturity. And it's like, shut up. Like, I cannot be with these people. And um yeah, communism, any of that stuff, it doesn't align with our. So what it would take for them to win is to completely tear down America and rebuild a new society around their fucking crazy beliefs.
mm,
So that will end in blood, because there's people like us who aren't going to stand for that, and that's where it will take place. And the sad thing is those lefties think the Islam is on their side, and they're not.
yeah. Like what is that? Yeah,
Yeah,
the red and green coalition they got going on, the
yeah,
commies and the Muslims. And I agree with you 100%. I saw that video you put earlier today, the one with the guy trying to justify Muhammad's like
yeah,
9-year-old bride. Yeah, and it's like one person said it really well. He's like, Jesus was a forgiving God. He was a forgiving person, and Muhammad was conquering nations and raping and pillaging.
yeah.
Like, How are we supposed to ideologically be aligned with the group of people or their leader is a fucking rapist? Like,
A, a
and
pedophile
oh,
rapist.
yeah, I was gonna say a pedophile rapist. How are we supposed
Yeah,
to be aligned with one another? We have totally different worldviews, and we will never coexist in a.
no,
It'll never be this utopian coexistence that we have between the religions. I mean, I could see like Christians and Jews a little bit here and there. They have some alignment, but I mean, Muslims, like, it's like, no, dude. And I don't believe in, I was talking to one guy and he was like, there are no rapes because, Tucker Carlson said there's no rapes in Dubai. So there's no
what?
rapes in Muslim countries. Like, okay, Tucker. And,
Yeah,
and he was like, I was like, what are you talking about? And I was talking to the guy and I said, dude, women get stoned to death if they get raped. What are you talking about?
yeah.
They blame the woman. He goes, I never heard of that. I'm like, oh my God, bro.
Like, are
And
you
he
not
means
paying attention? Like,
yeah, and I don't want like an atmosphere where my daughter has to grow up covering her whole body and looking like a goddamn ninja,
no,
like with oversized clothes ninja, you know, like
no.
like no, I mean, it's just not a good thing. It is total submission, and it's
Yeah,
like I understand Christianity is submission as well, but it's different. This is like a
It's a,
total submission that you're not even with God when you die. You don't even go to where Muhammad's at.
well, they don't even know. They don't even know if they get to heaven. They don't even know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So, and it is. You're right. It's two types of submission, but the Christian submission is a submission to something greater than yourself.
mm,
You're just submitting to this idea that you're a flawed human. There's something greater in control of all this, and that greater thing is pure love, right? So, but then you look at what each religion presents, and this is why I can't coexist with them. Like our religion says, don't lie to people because they will deceive themselves. They can lie to people. It says deceive people to further Islam.
yeah, their submission is as a boot on the throat.
Yeah. Or they're
And
allowed, we're told to love our neighbor and love the unbeliever because, either God has put a delusion on them or they can't see the truth. Only God can make them see the truth. So you got to love them. You don't have to accept them. You don't have to spend time with them. But their religion says kill those people. Right?
yeah,
So,
or pay a tax.
yeah, or pay
And,
tax.
and that's the one thing I don't like about the Jewish stuff too, is they're allowed to lie to non-Jews on a lot
Yeah.
of things as well. And it's like that's also a problem. Like that's also an issue.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know Christians do it too. And I know a lot of people have the usury, and it's like, yeah, but the Christians were using the Jews for that as well. So the Christians were benefiting off of that too. So you can't blame everything on the Jews. Like you can't.
No.
And that's the one thing I don't like. That's when you see like where it gets into that realm of Hitlerian ideology, like everything's a Jew's fault. And
Yeah.
I in my mind, right, the way I see it is like the way you see the left blame all white people for all their problems, you see the right blame all Jews for all their problems, and it's like, can y'all man the fuck up, grab your balls, and do something about it? Then not like in a violent way, but why don't you work harder to kind of have these things? Like why are Chris not getting into banking system, doing all this? And I know there's a lot of fucking roadblocks, but still, instead of bitching all the time, do something,
Yeah.
and make your situation better so you could be like the change that you seek to have, instead of just complaining, because all that does is bring bitterness and resentment, and then you just become an ugly person, and you become a leftist and wear purple hair and get fucking just get in people's faces and act stupid,
Right. And it's that, what's it called, radicalizing people, and I don't know, like you can't focus on one. So you look at the things like the Jews do, right, and okay, they create problems, but then so does this other group and this other group, and they're all doing it. It's not just one, and it becomes that hyper focus, like the left on white people. Like you think Europeans were bad colonizers. You guys don't know shit about the Arabs.
Yeah, they could.
They're fucking ruthless.
They could read the book about the Moors,
They're the most brutal colonizers to ever exist on this planet, maybe besides the Mongolians, right, with Genghis Khan. But so
also the biggest purchaser of African slaves too.
Yeah, we're nothing compared to them, and our population globally. Yeah, we're the majority here. We're not the majority on the globe, like they are. There's way more of them, especially and then there's way more like East Asians, right? Like Chinese and Vietnamese and Japanese, like so. Yeah, I just, this whole focusing on one identity group, and that's why it becomes circular. You go out to the edges so far, but it drops back down, and these people out here are almost the same thing, except these people are blaming white people, these people are blaming Jews.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. And it does take people to talk about it and be brave and be unapologetic and say, you know what, man, you're just bitching and complaining and doing everything else in the book like a leftist, and yeah, brother. I know I took a good amount of your time, man. But
No.
I do appreciate you, man. I do appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, we could collaborate another time whenever you have some more time,
Yeah.
and talk about whatever is going on in the world.
Yeah, sure.
All right. All right,
Thanks,
brother. Yeah. So I'll definitely I'm gonna be putting your stuff on there. The Wild Cur, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Right?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead and shoot me all those links, and I'll put it in the what is it? Oh my God, I'm going blank. But I'll put it in that little areas where they could go
The
find you.
description thing.
There you go. See, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm all lost. Is this damn rain's distracting me? I don't know if it's raining where you're at, but it's raining like crazy right now.
It's just cold here.
Yeah, I know it, and I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, we don't get much of that here. I don't know. You're in North. You probably get a lot more of it, no?
Yeah, it gets like it hurts your bones, man. Like
Yeah, I'm
but
in South Texas.
I am one of those transplants. I was raised in California. So
Oh, are you? Oh, okay.
yeah, it got cold where I was from. I was raised in the Sierra Nevada mountains, but it doesn't get this kind of cold. Like this shit hurts.
Yeah, I used to live in San Diego, so I've always been in
Okay.
everywhere I go. I'm in the southern regions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in SD for a while, and in Oceanside, Chancla Vista, like Chula Vista, and PB area, and then I was in Arizona for a little bit in Phoenix, and I didn't like that area. I was just like,
No.
But
The desert. I don't get people that live in the desert. They're psychopaths.
yeah, I was just like, it's just sand and cactus. Like that's the first time I've ever seen like a tumbleweed, man. The first time I ever seen it, I swear to God, I was like, I was just driving and I hit a stop sign and I'm just like, all right, and I see this tumbleweed like right in front of me, and I was like, what the fuck? I felt like I was in a goddamn cartoon, you know, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. I had never seen one in my life, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Okay. And then you see old people in their little scooters next to the car, like in the neighborhood. Like, what is this? But like, are we in Florida? Like, I know it was just a weird place. I mean, it's not that I didn't like the people. It was just 120 degrees. It's hot. There's no greenery. You know, it's just cactus and yeah, not a big fan. Not a big fan, but definitely, it was fun, man. I had some good times out there.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't bore your audience too much. So
nah, bro, it's fun. I love talking to people, and that's just what I like to do. But I'll end it and then I'll talk to you right now. But yeah, all right, we're gonna go ahead and I will make sure to follow the Wild Curd. All right, man. Yeah, have a good one. Peace.
you too.